yard or something, it was pretty much figured in and covered. Figure 200 yard now, and that's basic. That's on margins.
Yeah.
Got stupid.
And I tell you, you figure the wire versus fiber
Same price.
about the same price,
Yeah.
and it's a lot easier, with fiber.
John poured his with fiber after I told him to, and here's my thing with people. If there's old timers that want wire every time, and
Yeah.
here's the thing, I said that wire by the time you can hook it up, you can put chairs under it, by the time you walk on it and ride it down there, it's down in the bottom.
Yeah.
Which is where it is being the bottom third anyway, but the wire is
Yeah.
down at the bottom.
I've always
That fiber, well, you need rebar does a different thing than wire.
Yeah.
But you have to put rebar.
To keep it sliding and leaving.
That's what
That's
rebar.
rebar's for.
But
the
as far as your
wire,
wire keeps it from separating if and when it cracks. But that fiber mesh is top to bottom, end to end. It's all the way through the mix. I recommend it. I've torn out concrete. It's got wire in it. And I've torn out concrete with fiber in it. I think I would much rather tear out concrete with wire.
Yeah.
Because it breaks a lot.
It breaks out.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's a year-old, 2-year-old French fiber mesh concrete. You got a job.
So, the problem we have in this, we probably use rebar in it, and then pour with pipe.
If you're talking a 3-foot wall, you need to turn rebar, you need to dig a footing deeper than the ground. You're gonna need to turn bars driven into the ground, and then tie bars crossing perpendicular all the way up that wall. Turn those bars into the slab.
Yeah.
And even dowel those bars into the existing pool deck. That way, there's no sealing, everything's tied together.
That's right.
I don't mind coming out there and looking at it, giving Jay, even if I can't do it when y'all want it done, just
Hey, I'm fixing to have you ever done a boat ramp?
Welcome to Mayflower Planning Commission for September 9th, 2025. Barbara, would you please call roll, please?
Rusty Waters,
Here.
Randy Holman,
Here.
Chad Patterson. Here. Ken Rick. It's been so long since I've seen you, I almost forgot what's name.
I need to follow up so if then the duty things, I did not send those out for August.
Okay.
So that's on me. Yeah, you got a disappointed look. I can't.
Get in, Barbara, get in.
You're replaceable.
Oh, thank you. My head just swelled.
Ken knows how to recover. Okay, then we'll skip the approval of the minutes and we will get those typed up and approved out. General business, Hope Consulting, for Vineyard 2. Do we have anyone here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Please step to the podium.
So we've got the final plat of the Vineyards Phase 2. We've got 17 lots. It's energy, it's Mayflower water, sewer, finished up with this phase. You guys just asking for the final plat.
I had one question when I was looking at this. Lot number 7. Its lot width shows about 52.25 feet. Am I seeing?
So, yes, so that's to the start of that curve. That curve's another 25 feet. So it would, in theory, that would, extend out another 25 feet, but it's a radius there.
Okay. So what
That's the beginning of the curve.
the beginning of the curve is 25 feet?
So we've got 52.23, and then there's a 25-foot radius there.
55 foot to the curve,
Correct.
which where the curve starts.
Yeah.
Another 25 foot out to the end after the end of the curve.
So about 12.5 feet to the center of the curve onto
Correct.
52. So we have almost 65. So it's
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking at that 60-foot.
Oh, yeah.
Lot size, and I was like, that was the only one that tripped that in my head. So thanks for asking about that.
Makes sense.
Okay, great. That was my final question. Any other questions, commissioners? Okay.
Appreciate you.
Voice vote, to accept, do I have a motion to accept the final plat for Vineyard 2?
I make a motion to accept the final plat,
I'll
Vineyard 2.
Voice vote.
You want a roll call? Wesley Waters,
Yes.
Randy Holman.
Yes.
Chad Henderson,
Yes.
Cam Brown.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sir, you are approved. Thank you. And next is the subdivision on Durham and Joseph.
So I'll interject on this briefly. There was kind of a change of plans as of this morning. So he's withdrawn his subdivision application as it was presented in the email I sent out last week. His intention now is to just split the lot, basically keep 7 acres, and the remainder of it will be one lot where he intends to build one 2,000 square foot all brick home, and then keep as much of that tree canopy intact as he can. And leave the rest alone. That's the intention as of today.
Okay.
So with that being said, it's a one-off, doesn't fall under the purview of the planning commission.
Right.
That will just be a building permit and we go through the normal process. With that being said, there are some people here that do have future concerns that ultimately we're here to speak on because of the potential impact of a subdivision on that road. And I think we owe them the courtesy to allow them to kind of speak their mind on any potential impacts down the future on those two roads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real quick, before we go there, is he gonna, on the seven,
Pardon?
is he gonna build his house on the 7 acre lot in the middle?
Yes, that's 7.85.
Okay.
I don't, he doesn't know because he had his preliminary plat already done and basically that got tossed out the window today. So he's going back to a surveyor to get that lot redrawn where it's just gonna be a single lot split with one small lot for the R1 home that he intends to build.
Great.
Thank you.
Any comments to this?
Yeah, I'm Jeff Stalzer, I'm one of the homeowners. And, I just wanna make sure that it doesn't, we don't build, we said we're gonna do a sub, or he said he's gonna do a subdivision. And our road, we really can't handle it. Our road is, we've dealt with this before. It's private, it's considered a private drive. It's a single lane that you can't pass on. And you can't handle any more traffic. We live in a society where everybody's getting deliveries, this, that, the other, and we're already waiting on Interstate Drive all day long, waiting on somebody to come out so we can get back there. So with that said, we need to, I just wanna make sure that if he was gonna do a subdivision, now he's not, I wanna make sure he's not gonna slide one in and then 2 years later, slide another one in. And then 2 years later, slide another one in. And then, and achieve what he's trying to achieve without dealing with the problem and adding to the problem because he's doing it in such slow increments. Now, you following?
Absolutely.
And because of that, we are one lane roads, you know, I just don't, I think if there's anything more than one that needs to be addressed, that the road needs to be widened by somebody. And to address that issue.
So there's no more open lots down there other than this 7 acres?
Yeah,
That's it? That's all that's left?
it's all private, I mean, there's 21 houses. And
There's no more that can be developed, more houses can go back there, other than 7 acres y'all are talking about?
that / if something ever happened to the Miller, Monty Miller,
Okay,
you know, they've got 10 acres.
okay,
I own 16 acres.
okay.
So I own 2 houses. One's rented just because I bought the Washam home when they passed the law. I didn't want a subdivision.
Sure.
And I got wind of it and kind of jumped in front of it. And so I bought it, but that's the only house rented. All 21 homes, all the homes there are private, owner operator. They all live there.
Okay.
And so we didn't want multifamily, we don't need a lot of, anymore, we just don't have any more room.
Well, you said you got 16 and there's 10 more you said somebody else owns.
My 16.
I'm just asking, what's gonna stop, let's say you passed away, your wife says, okay, I don't want all this land, and someone says, I'd like to buy it and build homes. Who stops that? You see what I'm
I
saying?
agree, and that's why I'm saying that anything that subdivided wise, adding a bunch, there are 2 empty lots on Dawson Cove that may get a single house. They've been there.
They're still
They're
there.
still there. They're.
So you're saying right now, other than what y'all own,
Yeah.
there's 2 lots that can be built on?
Yeah.
But the 7 acres, you're 16, and that,
But my 16 has a house on it. It's a house sitting
yeah,
on
but
16.
you still
My
got
house is on
16 acres, you got room more than 2 houses, if you wanted to.
Yeah, but
You don't want
Who, since it's a private road, who maintains that road?
that's been the argument, to be honest with you. The city has been maintaining the road for the 20+ years that I've lived there.
Okay.
And so there is, even though it's private, but all the asphalt patch, it's a rough road. Because it's sunk in here and done this here and water done this and this was cut.
Right.
So it's very patched up.
Well, I have the same thing, but is that in the city limits, I suppose?
The road is in the city.
Okay.
The entire road, it needed to be widened. I asked for it, I tried to get it, everybody pays taxes.
Well,
But,
I hate to bring up something, but sometimes, like, on a private road, they made me put in a 60-foot easement and a 22-foot drive in the county. So that made room for more usage in that subdivision, but it was one way in, one way out, basically like y'all says.
I'll
So-
the land to have a wider road.
wider road.
Yeah,
That-
I was not gonna make anybody.
Right.
The land on our side, 10 feet, I don't have to mow, is not gonna hurt my business.
Right, but I guess,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
In case we need a visual.
yeah,
and so the whole south,
yeah,
That's about where it is.
yeah, I looked at it on the map.
and the whole south side, of the road, this is.
About Durham?
Yeah. And so they could have, now this one, they probably would need to go on this side, ooh, if they widened it that way.
Uh-huh,
But Durham,
right there, yeah,
Yeah,
right there,
that's
fingers on it,
Delbert and Sue Dawson,
uh-huh.
that's my father-in-law's, and I've got permission on that. I own this house. That's my rent house, that was a Washington home, that's my home. And so, and right here, when you come down here, it's a 3-way split. My driveway, his driveway, his driveway. We don't need color code. We just need, if you added 10 feet to the side of this road and went all the way down it, and then gravelled it and then asphalted it, it would be a wide enough road to give you a 2-lane road.
yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, if the city widened that and put curbs and everything down there for.
They don't even need curb.
Well, I'm just saying, if they did, would you care that they're building that neighborhood in there?
No,
You wouldn't mind then?
no.
I'm just wondering if that's all that was, is just the road.
He don't, you know.
Same here, this road is 1 lane, and even with this right here, you cannot see. It's 1 lane, you come around that curve, it's been many a time that I've had to jump into the ditch to keep from getting hit. So you add another 1 home in there, okay, but you start adding multiple homes, this is gonna have to be widened out as well, because you cannot see through here. And many a time, like I said, I didn't have to jump into the ditch, and even right here, in this main curve right here, there's no place, because you had that water tower thing right up in here. And so you're jumping into the ditch to try and get out of the way. So
a sewer
they
pump,
put-
there's a sewer.
Lift station, there's a lift station there.
Lift station. So even with this, if he's willing to give a little bit of his property around here and widen that, or he widen that would prevent that, wouldn't have no problem, because over here,
I guess that's
Maybe
what
that's the
that's what
approach.
I'm asking y'all. If he come to y'all and says, hey, I'll widen that road all the way past this,
Just,
make it good for y'all, then y'all say, okay, go ahead and build your neighborhood. Is that how y'all feel, or is there other problems other than that?
I would have a problem with the trees all being stripped out of that land, but I have no control over that.
Oh, you don't want the trees to leave?
I
Because
don't
of
want
what?
the trees to leave.
Well, that's in any development. Anybody buys a piece of property, that's like me coming on your land and saying, I don't like your trees, get them out. They're yours, they're yours.
I think the whole problem is it's a private road.
Right.
That's the whole
Well, the
deal.
city owns it, don't they now?
Well,
Well,
the city owns Dawson.
That's up
This
to
is
some.
part, this is part of the city.
City owns
This is-
Dawson.
That's up to, that's some of the base, like if you look at the plat, what he had, it's like you can see where the curve there cuts through that 7, well, almost 8 acres, Joseph.
Yeah.
It cuts the land, so we're trying to find out if the road was just cut through his land and he just gave the land, or what the deal was, but right now, we don't have a solid legal determination of what that road
I don't think the city holds a right of way on either of those roads right now.
Right.
Well, it brings up a question, the reason I know one of my constituents called me today concerned because they came out and located and flagged it and all this. And the question was, they actually, and they're not opposed, they just want to make sure everything's fair and right, that live on the corner of Joseph and Durham.
The Leeds.
The Leeds.
Right.
Great people.
Yep.
They said by their plat, and she would have to do the research, but she's pretty sure on their plat,
Oh, the road.
that the road that's there now
Goes
is actually on their land.
It's 100%.
And there's no right of way given for that road on their land. And if somebody came in now and tried to widen that road,
Ah.
they'd be taking even more of their land.
But,
Or-
but they could take it the other side and
And that's if
she
they
wouldn't
went
be on
south.
the-
Well,
That's-
Yeah,
that's, how long's that road been there?
And that's
Over
what,
7 years.
it's been.
no, and so.
Then it becomes an adverse easement.
And listen, they're fine with what's there, but again, the question is, if it's their land, there's no city right of way there. Who has the right of way? Did they have to pay them? Is there eminent domain if they want to? I don't know the answer to the question.
Here a while back, this was brought up.
Well, Mr. Stolzer came about fixing the road last year at the council.
We have researched from a city perspective and found no documentation that that road was ever given to the city. First of all, it's substandard. It's only one road, one lane.
Yeah.
Not even a good lane.
No.
It would have to be brought up to standard in order for the city
Well,
to take it over.
Not if it's privately owned, but if the city takes it over, surely.
Well, we're not going to take it over.
Oh, okay.
That's the issue, because it's substandard. It's just like we talked about the Vineyard subdivision. In order for us to accept their subdivision, all the roads and everything has to be made, brought up to a certain standard, a certain specification. This road, even if the people that owned it said, hey, we would like to give this road to the city, we're not accepting it.
Because the moment that we take it,
we
we
have
would
to
be liable to have curbs on it to fix all those things.
Well, there's a lot of roads that are in the city right now,
They're great.
tons of them, that
are private roads.
but they're inside the city limits, and they're all, I mean, is everything in the city private road?
Well, if there are private roads within the city limits that we don't maintain.
I think I know what you're saying. There are roads that are too narrow, that are substandard based on the standard now, that are in the city. But for us to take another one as a city, it would have to be what would be the current code and guideline now. Right. And we've actually got some plans in place to fix some of those roads. There's some grant money coming in next year to widen some of those.
But we're widening Main Street just a few feet, that's gonna be about $700,000, just to put a few feet on each side of Main Street.
For about a mile stretch.
Yeah.
It's a little bigger project than what would be over there.
Right, but it's not cheap, is what I'm saying, when we talk about just adding 10 feet, there's a lot that goes into that, but yeah, if this is a privately owned road, then it would be up to the owners of the property on that road to widen it, or bring it up to city standard code in order for the city to adopt.
Right. So this would be, this Joseph Road right here, would it be in Mr. Long's land?
Yeah, he would have to pick that up.
Pick that up, you know.
So what they were saying
Bring
is,
in.
if he tried to do sell his five houses, build
Five
five houses, he'd
you would
have.
have to possibly widen his road to get those 5 houses.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, come through there to subdivide, come through.
And
If he's putting three driveways out through here, it's not gonna happen.
Right, that's what we're talking about.
Actually, they have 3 driveways on Durham.
And
And
3
2.
driveways on Dorman, and even with 2 here, it's not gonna happen. You got all that traffic coming through.
Right.
That road is not gonna hold. This is the city-owned road right here.
Yeah.
And it comes down to right here and stops. So, the issue is this portion right here, and then Durham Road widened up enough. His property's right here, and it ends right over here, widened up enough to where we can get in safely. And if he add later on, he has another house and another house, another house, that's gonna build up on traffic. It's already traffic, like I said, and this curve right here, many times I jump into the ditch. You have to get over here, or you have to wait on Interstate Drive for anybody to even come out of here.
Well, if that's the case, that didn't get like that just yesterday.
No.
Yeah.
So why are you asking now that the road be widened when all of, you said
What I asked-
that there are 21 families? Is that what it is?
What I'm asking, and what we're saying is, we can't put a subdivision, and we don't want them coming in and putting another subdivision, like the conversation we had. you and
More
I had
traffic.
last year. You said if Bridle Ridge was done today, it would not have been put in without it widening all the way down.
Yes.
Then widening the road all the way down. You and I had that conversation with Jason. And that's all I'm saying again, is another subdivision is theoretically was popping up. I'm just saying that it needed to be, I don't need it sliding in after the fact. So say he's changed it, so he's only gonna build one house. That's great. That's awesome.
So what you're wanting is a bill of assurance, this will
Yeah.
happen down the road.
That's exactly.
That's what you're after.
That's exactly what.
But that's something.
I don't want it to slide in and then, okay, well, let's, 2 years from now, and I just put another one in.
Well,
But that's the same thing as you guys that own other property, the 10, 15, or 16 acres, whatever, that you decide, or some family member, you die within the next 30 days, and they decide they're going to sell or whatever, that's the same possibility.
If somebody puts a whole bunch of houses in there, that's when you're gonna go to them and say,
Sell them.
I'm doing on road you, you're gonna have to widen this road.
What you're wanting is an ordinance or something that says, for the size road you got, you're gonna have so many people on it. Because if you start putting more homes on it, it's gonna cause more congestion and wear and tear on the road, more wear and tear.
And safety precautions on that road. It's already safety issues as it is right now. You know, by not being able, you cannot see around this curve. Even if the water department parks over here, they parks right there to service that unit right there. They literally have to get off the road, then you have to creep and ease around each other to try to get through. So this area right here is already safety hazard. You add another 5 homes into this area, building up traffic. And not only that, you have the post office, trash cans, the delivery people coming into this area, and you leave at 5:30 in the morning. You think about all these people trying to leave out at the same time. You add another 5 homes to it, it's gonna really create some safety concerns, some safety issues. You also have kids here. You have a kid living here. You have kids, lady, they'll have a couple of kids in that road right there. And literally, you have to sometimes get off the road if someone's coming in and you don't see them coming down Joseph right here. If you don't see them coming, you turn down. You can't turn right here you can't turn right here if there's just a ledge that drops off into the ditch. So you can't turn right here. If you're right here, you literally have to pull into Lee's driveway or his yard and make sure you miss his water thing in order to let people out. So you got another 5 homes later on down, or even if somebody sell their land, the sale is gonna start creating
What
problems.
is that 7 acre on land zone right now?
It's all R1, but it's also
About 15% of that area.
Eight houses, a lot of houses.
Right.
I'm just still on here, but could you fix that without an ordinance with the zoning thing, like if it was zoned? Not saying, but is there a zone, say agriculture, where that 7 acre block is spot zoned agriculture, where you can only have one dwelling? And you can't put accessory dwellings as in other houses without rezoning to an R zone?
We could, but we don't want to.
I get that, but I'm saying that.
Is it legal? Yes. Are we going to do it?
I don't know if it's legal, because I believe the owner has already bought this property with that zone already in place. Same situation with these guys that own the 16 acres and the 10 acres. So, you know, you're discriminating against this guy that just bought the 7 acres because you don't want him to, you know, build anything other than one house. So, I don't,
Oh, I'm not saying that. No, let me be fair, I think I vaguely know who is developing, so this is not a personal thing by any means.
no.
But I think what they're trying to say is if he's building a home, that's fine, a single dwelling home. I get that he bought the land and listen, I'm as much of a libertarian as anything, you buy the land, do what you want. But if his intention is to build a subdivision over time, and he's trying to circumvent that by building them one at a time, which is what Mr. Dawson, Mr.
No, you're not saying he's doing that, are you? You're just saying he could do that. He's not saying he is doing it, but he could be.
I'm gonna bring this right back, because we got 5 people shouting at each other across the room, that's gonna stop. So, he could, but we don't have any information that he's going to. You could subdivide your 16 acres. We have no evidence that you're going to. So, we have to operate on what we know, not about hypotheticals. Tomorrow, a toilet could fall out of the space station, fall through our roof, and kill us. Always a possibility, it's a hypothetical. We're gonna deal with what we know. Now, I have a couple questions if everyone's done shouting. Joseph Road, if we know that that's private, 2 questions. Number 1, what's to stop him from closing your access to that? If he says, you know what? No, I'm not gonna widen my road to build on my property. I'm gonna cut your access to it. And if Durham, I don't know, is Durham Cedar or is that private as well? He can cut that off too. And then you all are gonna have to, because it's his property, he can cut off. And then you guys are gonna have to go out back to the city road and then to come around. So I'm just saying, while we're talking about hypotheticals, we don't know what he's gonna do in the future. I think everyone agrees that if 5 houses went in there, that those roads need to be widened. I don't think anyone disagrees with that, 100%, absolutely. And if he came through with a subdivision application in the future, that would definitely be something that we would be talking to him about. It's private property, he's gonna have to deal with that. At the same time, he might say, I like them how they are. I'll just cut everyone else's access off, because it's private.
Excuse me, must speak. Hypothetically, this easement, to tell you the truth about it, Lee owned that right there where that Y is at. So hypothetically, if Lee wanted to, he can cut him off as well from getting to his property.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, we can go hypothetically.
Yeah.
The thing we're saying is, if you want to cut people off back here, he could be cut off right here. We all could be cut off.
Absolutely he
You
could.
know, so that's not something we want.
No, you
We're
don't
just asking him to say, hey,
The road is
a
dedicated private drive.
It can't be cut off.
After 7 years, if there's been no attempt to privatize it or restrict access, then it's gone to the
You're
public.
not gonna cut that off.
That part is out.
hypothetically. But, you know, if he just come in and just widen the road, if he's gonna do that, you know, that's all we ask.
Well,
One house, okay, but, you know, if you know you're gonna bring a subdivision in, all we're asking is just widen the road for us for safety. Because he owned this right here, we're not telling him what to do, but, you know, if he's putting houses in there, you know, he can, I think, money on some of this land across here where it's coming in at.
He does, he owns the top left corner of Joseph. He,
All this, and his cousin owns
yeah,
all
he
this
owns
down
that.
here.
He owns
And
that.
when his cousin owns all this land over here.
Now, the plat we got gets those trees on the top left, that.
Right here?
Yep, he owns that according to the survey, he owns
Okay,
that.
and him and his cousin own all this other two.
And that's why I was asking, like, Joseph Drive looks like it was just cut through someone's
You
property.
know, right here's where the power lines run through, right through here.
Well, let me ask you,
If he just,
let me ask you a question. You're saying you want him to widen your road, right?
Well,
Right, that's what they're asking.
Only if he builds
if he
a subdivision,
subdivision,
then he would widen it because it's on his
But-
property.
But what about the other 21 people that's been using this?
We're saying we can't handle it anymore.
Yes.
We're saying, I want you to do what you said before.
Well, again, it just seems, I don't see the safety issue that's been brought up. that.
You haven't drove the road. I'm trying, you haven't drove the road.
Well, first of all 21 of your landowners don't leave at the same time, do they? No.
In the morning time, in the morning time, you're all leaving around at the same time. Lee, myself,
I run in the morning.
coming out.
All I'm
in
saying
the
is,
evening.
it just seems to me that.
Or the 6 o'clock.
With the 21 people that's already living there, you haven't had a need to enhance that road.
All we're saying is we don't need more.
Well,
Who paid for the city road they put in at the top of it, at the end of it, with the neighborhood? Who paid for that road?
I want to say Mr. Dawson.
Delbert Dawson.
When
Dawson did?
Dawson, he installed, he did that.
And give it to
Paid
the
for all
city.
that.
And he signed it off to the city.
he signed it off.
It's a curved road that's up to code.
Yes.
Huh? Yes, it's red, the curves and everything.
Right here.
is that coming off of Dam Road, off of Pine?
No.
Sir.
No, that's off Joseph, the end of Joseph.
It's right behind the.
Pine
wall.
tree stops
It's right
right
there.
there.
The wall.
It stops right here.
No. Pine tree's right there. And Pine Tree stops right here. And
And that's a city road.
that's the city road. There's no access to Joseph to Dam Road. It's all dead end. There's a house here and it stops. So it just, Joseph Road is a one way in, one way out.
All
It's
right,
a dead end.
so that we don't go all night on this, let me see let me summarize and see if I have captured your concerns. Joseph and Durham are pretty much at capacity with the folks who already live there.
Yes.
Another home, you could accommodate. 5 homes would require more capacity to the roads for safety, for ease of travel.
Yes, sir.
And such. So today, it doesn't necessarily need to be wide, but if he decides to go in there someday in the future and subdivide, he'd have to come back before this commission. And then we could talk to them then if they say, we've got safety concerns, so, with, especially that corner, I can see corner around a blind corner. At night, at least you see headlights coming to you in the morning, or in the day, you don't know if there's anyone coming around.
Yes, sir.
Totally get it. So, did I summarize your concerns?
Exactly, right.
You're at
Your point
capacity
on it.
now?
Yes, sir.
5 more would put you over capacity and really need some enhancements to the infrastructure.
Yes,
That's
sir.
correct.
Okay, and I think, given that, I don't think there's anyone here who disagrees with me. I think everyone is on board with your concerns and the need for enhancement should a subdivision, 5 houses go in there.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool.
That's all I wanted to speak.
Yeah, no, totally understand and absolutely a legitimate concern, for sure. So, yeah, thank you guys for coming. I just wanted to summarize that 'cause I thought that we were on the same page.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I wanted to make sure. All right. Totally heard. Thank you guys.
Who's in the beginning?
I'm Jim Jacuzzi. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay.
Last name Collins Stone.
You need to spell
Please.
Jacuzzi.
Oh, Jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi.
Yeah, he's that jacuzzi.
Oh.
I didn't mean to throw you under the bus.
I saw it.
It's common spelling.
It is, very common. I'm going in my water all the time.
Yeah, put that on Street View.
And we just moved in a month or so ago. We bought a year ago and just moved in a month ago.
All right. Welcome to Mayflower.
Thank you.
It's not a robust piece. I figured it's gonna work, but I figured it froze. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That's all.
All right. Well, we definitely agree with you guys, and should we receive an application to subdivide that in the future,
Yeah.
that would definitely be a topic of conversation that we have with him or whoever owns, whoever decides to do it at that time. That, hey, that's a private road, that people use, it's been there for a long time, gonna need flagging it for safety purposes.
Yep. I agree.
As far as the new plans, the single home,
Yeah.
you'll be submitting a plat, layout, whatnot for that or not?
No, because for one, to do it, it'll be just like anybody else buying any property and building a house.
Okay.
But if he goes to subdivide,
Yeah.
then yes, absolutely, he's got
Uh,
or
Yeah,
variances.
Splitting into 2 properties, keeping a 7 and getting rid of something else. What part is he not keeping?
I can't answer that. Okay. The preliminary, it was just a discussion, and that was his intention of what he intends to do as of today. But he's gonna have to go back to the surveyor, you know, that. I don't want to speak for him.
So when that becomes final, how can we find out what that final?
We'll see it there, because he doesn't have to turn.
No.
You don't have to, if we have to do it, then you won't keep the house and put all that.
I mean,
There's still the easements on the property lines.
Yeah, setbacks.
He's got to pull permits. Yeah, he'll have to pull permits, all that normal stuff. He'll still have to come up here. There'll still be documentation. You know, and that's.
There's gonna be a public hearing.
Right.
Well, I may not have heard what I'm thinking, I might have heard that he might sell part of that off again. So
That was an initial discussion after the day, just kind of gauging the temperature of the room. It's like, I might sell the half of that, just not even worried with it. So, but again, I'm not speaking for him, you can't hold me to anything I'm saying. That was the topic of conversation.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your insight, or your input.
Thank you.
Okay, last on the list is the revised site plan for Maverick.
So there's nobody here to discuss on this. We sent the links out. It was just incorporating the additional city comments. The site plan has already been approved, and the changes that they made were in line with administrative review and approval. Nothing really in a grand scale has changed from your original approval. What's holding them up right now is the state review from the health department. Plumbing has reviewed it, it's gone to food service, it's still kind of in the ADH review pool. Once those comments are finalized, it will go to Mayflower Water, will rank and make its final recommendation. So there's our holdup as far as issuing excavation and building permits. The other piece that is kind of pending is the RDOT review. And we've kind of gone back and forth because they're worried that our issuance of a permit is going to be predicated upon RDOT. And RDOT's going to take some time because they're proposing to widen the state road and reload, dealing with utilities and easements. And so part of what they are looking for from us is just kind of a blessing because we are making them go back to add those sidewalks that were not omitted in the landscape plan along those sidewalks. They're asking us, hey, can we please just allow the RDOT process to play out? We're gonna do it. It's not gonna be reflected in our plans because we're waiting on RDOT. So once RDOT gives us the right of way and allows us to widen the road, then we'll revise that site plan to include sidewalks and the landscape buffer. So they know it's a requirement. They're not gonna get a certificate of occupancy without it.
Right.
But the revised site plans are kind of pending RDOT, and that's why those are reflected.
Okay.
But again, there's nothing to review. Review is just a discussion point, just to keep y'all updated.
Any questions from commissioners about the matter?
I'm good. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate the update.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any other public comments?
I've got one.
Yes, sir.
Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, on anything I'm about to say. The 2 acres directly across from number 1 has been sold.
Yes, Wayne Palladino has purchased both lots.
And the plan is to build a large plumbing.
So if y'all are familiar with Reliance Heating and Air's location on 365, just to the south of Conway city limits, it's a very compact facility. They've definitely outgrown it. So they're proposing to relocate their headquarters from that very small site in Conway to Mayflower.
My point is
Right on
this.
the left, as you go into
Yes.
Trenton, right?
Northbound on the left.
Yeah, on the left.
Yes, sir.
Right, into the dirt works, that area across.
They got the blue trucks.
My point is this. We just lost 2 acres of prime property that we're not gonna get other than peanuts in terms of sales tax. we don't have that many other areas of prime property. So what I'm wanting to do is, we gotta talk to Dustin, but I feel that we need to put some kind of moratorium or strip that area of the zoning that's there now and have some kind of zoning that says, we want to look at it on a case-by-case basis so that anybody that wants to come in and purchase a piece of property along the interstate on either side would have to come before the commission and show what they're wanting to do, with the understanding that if we keep giving up this land, we're not going to have anything to generate sales tax. Now, I know there's been talk of, okay, this is a larger plumbing company, and there's a possibility that they're going to be doing some service work here in Mayflower. First of all, we got into a situation with, do you charge sales tax on labor? I'm not sure that you do. Does anybody know?
You do?
I believe so.
Ask Jen and I too.
I didn't think you did.
I don't think you do either. You don't.
So if you are let's say you're like John Gary Budman, a carpet layer, floor tile, and you don't actually buy the product, you're just laying it. You don't have to pay sales tax.
So, there's a different scenario, so you may be right about that.
Yeah, you gotta pay sales tax. So your labor is
You
taxed.
do all the carpet or the material that you're going to be using, but that'd be just like somebody, you want to build a deck on the back of your house or whatever. You buy the material and you do pay sales tax on that.
Or you want to do some dozer work.
I'm sorry?
If you bring your dozer to my house to do some work.
Right.
You're gonna pay sales tax on that money you
No.
make off me? Should you, is what the question is.
Well, there you go.
I don't think you have.
Well, if you didn't, then you're telling me all the big dirt walk people, is that how come they're so rich and not pay taxes?
And,
Well, they're paying taxes.
I have no
On
idea.
They're paying regular state taxes and federal taxes and unemployment taxes and all those taxes.
Right, but
But they're not paying, like, an excavation business does not.
Customer is not paying sales tax on the labor. Now, materials, yeah, I may be wrong.
On materials,
But
you
I'm
have-
fairly certain if, say you had a
Material
construction company and you had dirt, you had a dump truck and a bulldozer, and you brought a whole dump truck full of dirt, that dirt would, they would pay sales tax on because it's a material of some kind.
Yeah, but
But if
if,
it took you 2 hours to spread it, they wouldn't necessarily pay sales tax on the 2 hours that you worked to spread it.
well, like I said, if I hire Danny to come clear my property, and it takes him a month to clear it, and he charges me $112,000, is he paying any sales tax on that $112,000?
Be
Huh?
paying sales tax because you're buying,
How's he paying sales tax?
Why would I pay
you
sales?
pay the sales tax to him. Well,
All right.
No, I'm the one that's paying him to do the work.
I'm not sorry. Yeah.
Let me tell you guys what, and
I got
we
confused.
obviously have to run this, Dustin, but Gemini says generally in Arkansas, labor is not taxed. However, the repair or replacement of any mechanical plumbing item, like boiler, pump, anything like that, is considered a taxable service. So if they're out there repairing or replacing mechanical plumbing, then yes, that's taxable. It's very nuanced. New construction is exempt from that. When they install the new stuff, it is not taxed. It's only the repair of that equipment that's taxed. If they just come out and do a service call, they don't have to repair anything, they can top off your Leon or something, then there's not gonna be tax for that.
But I didn't mean to go down that rabbit hole, but my point is, we're going to make very little off sales tax off of that 2 prime acres. And I've got a huge concern about that we're going to be losing. We've just lost that 2 acres. I'm doing everything I can to try to get the businesses to come in here, but not the businesses that are going to, like we've got now, with all of these other businesses that you're buying a product and the sales tax is at the point of destination. That's not helping us at all.
No, we're opposed to us on that.
So my point is, let's get back to what reason I'm asking or bringing this up. What does everybody think about? I just feel that we should have more control with who we're selling this land to, rather than somebody like this coming in and, you know, you look at the piano place. You've got Metal Roofing Supply, you've got Metal Mart, you've got J Mart, and there's several others. If you don't buy that piece of that package and have it delivered within the city limits, we get zero. Same way with Lumber One, unless you go in and that type of thing. But my point is, I'm wanting to bring this up because I feel that we've just lost another prime location that would benefit us. You know, we can't go out and say, hey, we just pick a company and say, hey, we want you to relocate to Mayflower, even though that's what I'm trying to do. You know, they have to be willing to come in here. But when you have a company like that, look at the advertisement they're going to be getting from being right there on the interstate.
I'm just concerned the legal thing, unless there's some type of zoning that you say you have to sell retail in this area.
Well,
This,
that's the way to do it, is to zone.
yeah, I agree, but
Auto repair shops.
yeah,
And I'm all for, Mayor, I'm with you. But you said something just a minute ago, and I'm not trying to like throw you under the bus, but you said we're selling property, but we're not selling property.
No, we're not.
The city doesn't own the property.
right.
We're rather limited in that scope, and
I'm talking about everything.
these people are moving from Conway because they don't have room where it's at Conway. There are some sales taxes that are, it's going to sell its destination. I just looked up an invoice from my heating and air company that I use that's out of, they're not even in Maumelle, but they're out of North Blue Rock area, Levy area. When they came to my house and serviced my air conditioner last year, and it was an $80 service call, they charged 9.5%, the 6.5 state, or 2.5 in the county. And it shows a Mayflower rate. I was taxed on those services, and that money was turned back to Mayflower at that rate.
Arkansas law does provide for taxation, janitorial work, lawn care, locksmith services.
There's a few that are exempt, there's a few that are listed.
There's
And any maintenance, the maintenance things such as the heat and air.
It's not a blanket answer to the
Yes.
question.
It's very good.
That's why I pulled up my invoice to see if it was I taxed that Mayflower rate in Mayflower, and in fact it was.
But
Yeah,
this,
And I got turned over to state DFA, that got turned back to the city on our sales tax bracket.
Yeah, no,
This-
Jenna is very clear that the laws are very nuanced and that you have to go in and you have to look for that specific, line of business, what they're doing. So there's no blanket answer like, yes, service, yes, labor's taxed, no, labor's not.
but Mayor, I think really that to answer your question, I don't think we could establish a moratorium or dictate what occurs on private property outside of zoning in order to control the zoning, which is the purpose of zoning to make it compatible with the adjacent land uses and with the overall city's master plan. The zoning is how you do that, and zoning allows for that transaction that has occurred as it sits right now. It's up to the council to decide if that, because right now that's all overloaded. We know the fight will be overloaded.
Just add some stuff to make that more cohesive with,
So the base zoning is gonna be intact, but it's pretty much irrelevant because that entire corridor along 365 is in that overlay district for the heart of Mayflower. So you've got two zoning obstacles to overcome that would have to be amended
something we'll definitely have to look at if the UDO in those corridors, if we do want to designate it retail only.
And it's not to say that you couldn't say, this would be for, certain types of business. That's what zoning allows for. It's just our current zoning allows for businesses that are sales and service oriented that don't necessarily turn sales tax will.
Are codes now as far as, I've seen their business up there. And they don't have enough room. Apparently they can't, because if you look at it, that place looks like something blew up in the front of it. There's boxes and stuff, and they're halfway parked out in the ditch, and I can see they have zero room, but I hope they don't bring that kind of clutter to us.
His original proposal.
You see what I'm
to me,
saying?
Like 3 months ago was they wanted to mirror American Concrete, that building on 365 next to Conway and Gas.
Okay.
They were trying to do something that they could be proud of, the 2 stores,
Exactly.
warehousing in the back. Now, that being said, that was just talk. That's not in the paper, and that's not a submitted proposal. But we do have design criteria with the suburban overlay district. They can't just throw up another building and call it good. That won't be approved.
Well, and also what kind of fence?
And so, but their building has to come before y'all for approval anyway.
Right.
And I had that conversation with him yesterday. So he's aware.
It's all I'm saying, sometimes you'll see a neighbor that'll keep their yard and be terrible. They'll move cross street down the road, and that becomes terrible. And and if I think their problem is they have no room.
Yeah.
But they bring it down here, then they'll make it right.
And to paraphrase his concerns, they couldn't find a piece of property in the city limits of Conway without all the convoluted rules and regulations to put the building that they needed to in place. So they left the city because of their burden and regulations on that corridor. Paraphrasing his concern.
But they know we have convoluted rules and regulations.
Double layers.
Yes.
We have layers.
Not long.
Not for long, I hope.
I just don't see that we're trying to protect ourselves.
Well, and my argument since I started the job was trying to update our zoning to allow for some flexibility and updating of our current codes. Our overall land use map and our street use map, those plans are dated. They don't match the direction this town is developing. And we're not even adhering to our street plan. We're not adhering, these are things that are just documents. And we reference them when it's convenient, but we don't actively enforce. I could go on and on.
Yeah.
The whole damn thing just needs to be updated, and we all gotta have buy-in. It's just not 1 or 2 people that has to be involved. But here in this room, we personally made no effort in the past 6 months to really push this thing forward. And scheduling meetings is great, but we do another one, we're gonna be backpedaling for 2 meetings just to catch up to where we were. And at this point, I'm almost like, look, I'm gonna review the remainder of that document. I'm gonna send my recommendations to you guys, and y'all can figure it out. But I don't see the value of me sitting here reading this book to you. And I just don't. We've got to move forward with a sense of urgency, because our code regs don't match the business, they don't match the town, they don't match anything that's Mayflower as it sits here today.
Well, how long will it take once you go through and make your observations and this type of thing to get it to the point where you could bring it back to us and basically give us the cliff notes? Okay, and after that, how long it is the process at that point to get it back to Metro Plan?
So ideally, I would finish the document, put my recommendations, do an executive summary, and then invite your comment. We'll reconcile those comments into that document. I want to do a town hall, gather public comments before we submit that as a working draft of Metro Plan for them to reimagine that document with our notes and then present that as a polished product to council.
After it goes to
Metro Plan.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Chris, before you put together your executive summary, I would like to meet with you because I've got a bunch of questions in that book that I've put little stickies on to mark
All,
them.
I've got dog ears all over my book. man.
Yeah, I was dog eared and got annoying, so I bought stickers, the little sticker things to tell me. So I would like to meet with you before that, so you could answer some of my questions and might give some input. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that, because I agree, it needs to move forward. It is hard meshing schedules, so 8 or 10 people, I get it. Trying to do that stuff at work, sometimes we schedule weeks out because we can't get everyone on a meeting at the same time.
And it's dry stuff, I get it, but, you know, obviously the update to the codes are great, but that document has checklists and proper forms that have been vetted by current attorneys and counsel, where all these rules and regs, they're current, they're applicable. And so like our master street, 1995, our subdivision regs are 95. Tell me, there's something that's changed dramatically in that book.
Can I ask a question about the UDO itself? I'm not trying to hijack anything. As a councilman, I've read through the vote multiple times myself, from the original drafts 5 years ago to the current draft. And I haven't been at all of your UDO workshops. I've watched a few and listened and been to a few. And you know, how many changes have been made to the draft?
So right now, I'm keeping a list of notes, so nothing's been incorporated by the plan into the.
Sure.
But I have a list of everything.
But I'm saying that this body, whenever we went through it and said, hey, we thought we'll look at changing this, is there, we're talking 5, 10?
Yeah, we've probably identified dozens at this
Has
point.
Bernadette Roach from Metro Plan been to this body to discuss UDO?
Yes.
Well, not since we started working on it.
Right, yeah, I mean,
But the council, matter of fact, I think I spurred this back on 2 years ago myself, reaching out to Bernadette and saying, hey, send it back. We're in trouble. I know we dropped the ball 2 years ago, but we need to do something with this.
And with that, that's why Chris is taking the
Yes.
list to try to.
I will also say, and I'm not speaking for Metro Plan because I don't work for them, and I don't even agree with a lot of what they say to do. But I know with this video document, it's pretty much their stance. If you bring them a book with changes the size of their book, they're gonna tell you to go write your own book.
Yes. Yeah.
They don't wanna make a bunch of changes to their video. They
And
can
that's part of the
customize,
reason why-
they can customize certain things for cities and towns and municipalities. But if you give them a list of changes to rewrite their book, they're gonna hand it back to you and say, it looks like you wrote your own book. Don't call it UDO.
And, you know. and
Just being fair, they.
You're right, that was the initial conversation that she had. And we, ultimately, when we get to the end of it, we gotta look at the totality of the changes that we're intending to make. You know, some of these are just notes, some of this is, as we're working through it, we're kind of revising some of our thoughts and processes. So, yes, at the end of it, I hope that we could drop some of that, and maybe reconcile some of that with some other changes, and
And I don't think
minimize.
I can't speak for Metro Plan. I don't think they would be opposed again to just a few changes to customize for our unique situation. They're aware that Mayflower is a town that's built between a freeway, a highway, and a railroad. I mean, they get that we're limited on land. They get that we're being grandfathered in every piece of everything that's around. It's a mess. And it's not, we're not starting from scratch. I'm sure there would be, and we'll do a few changes, but again, that's why I'm thinking going through it so detail, and I'm not saying that the detail we're in isn't great.
We need to know what we're about.
We do, but, you know, if it's just language and zoning or things that can be, I don't know, I'm really speaking from an educated sport.
A lot of it had to do with, as most of the developers that come in, it's the 50-foot lot versus 60-foot lots, it's the minimum lot width.
Those are customization things.
It's typical R1,
Yes.
and, you know, some of the permissible things, requiring permits on certain things that we don't currently require permits for, striking those and maxing out our current processes. These aren't really major drastic changes that.
And that was my question, it's like that.
Customizing it is a made law.
Yes,
We're
and that's different.
tweaking, we're not rewriting.
Yes.
We're tweaking.
As a matter of fact, we're striking language, we're really not rewriting anything. We're just
Many
striking.
things that aren't.
Yeah, we're actually leaving it, the UDO is actually quite a bit more restrictive on a lot of things than what we really want it to be. So that's what Chris is talking about, striking. It's like, Yeah, we don't need people to run to get a permit because they want to put their trash there. You know what I mean? And it's just, there's a lot of restrictions in there. We're trying to loosen it up, at the same time, organize, streamline, because I mean, if I was a project manager doing this at my job, I'd probably ask for a raise. Because I'd be like, this is ridiculous. I don't know what has been going on, but this looks like a 1,000,000-piece puzzle that's missing half the pieces, our current zone. So, yeah, it's just, it's crazy.
But to
So-
your point, the overall, for the most part, 99% of the
Still have
design
to order their
criteria,
document.
Yeah,
the design criteria, regulations, setback requirements, all that is intact.
but we're putting like, if they put a 50-foot lot, we're like, no, we want 60. So we change that.
That was a pretty substantial.
Yeah.
Consistent change across all the lot.
Well, yeah, this is from a form of ignorance that I'm asking, what kind of changes, it's like, if we're thinking that's gonna take another 3 months to review it, and this and that, how far along are we, and is there anything I can do as a councilman to help review and confirm anything that I would eventually, want to change or be?
Absolutely. Please do.
Because I still have old drafts that they've even changed things on, we've had, Danny and I probably, I don't even know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago,
Spend some time.
I think it was prior to you being mayor, right? We're sitting at a Metro Plan meeting in Little Rock, and we actually got into it with some people.
Well, the 25 legislature has impacted a lot of our planning and zoning and permitting processes too, so that the current document we're working out of.
Accessory dwellings.
Yes, so some of that would have to be amended and brought up to date anyway. It's a living, breathing document, and we're playing catch up. But
Hopefully moving forward, it won't be another 3 decades before it's reviewed.
No, but it's still gonna be a dynamic document. After we,
That's
not saying that we're opening it up and saying, yeah, we're gonna do this, but variances are coming. Common sense variances, obviously, that's the reason that there's a terminology of variance in the process.
should be acceptable.
But ultimately, this will be the heart of it, unless ordinances change the document. Or the policy.
So, I mean, me getting through the document and summarizing the changes is actually going to be the easiest part of this process. The hardest part of this is as a governing body, both planning and council, is redrawing the land use map, and applying the zones, and going through that process. That's not going to be easy.
Right. Because there's gonna be a lot of requests and asks, and some of them we'll be able to accommodate, others we won't be able to accommodate. I mean, we're getting away from spot zoning. If someone comes in, we'll get 3 people that come in and say, hey, I want my house rezoned, we've got this new thing, but we need to have all these pop marks now of spot zoning. It's like we're getting away from that, because then, I mean, the different zones have different rules. So it's like your neighbor doesn't have to do something that you do because they were good enough to get their land rezoned, but they're doing this thing. So we're really trying to get away from spot zoning. It's not a good practice in general. It should, again, that should be less of an exception or happen less often than variances. We shouldn't be doing these spot zonings like this. It's not good.
But again, a lot of our land use map hasn't kept up with the demand and the growth of the city. Yep. So that's something that has to be addressed, as well as our overall master street plan, which is woefully out of date.
And it's coming quickly,
Yes.
quickly.
And with these things, I feel like we probably missed some opportunities with Vineyard too, and having some interconnectivity. And I know that they didn't want to do it, but that's something as a city we can compel as part of our plan, that yes, we want these interconnection points. We don't want one way in, one way out. But we don't have the documentation or the plans to compel them to do these improvements. All we can do is ask. And again, as a body, that might be something we invite Metro Plan to try to guide us on that, to update those documents. And I really think we should be looking to do that. And I know it's, as a council perspective, it's budget season, there's nothing on the agenda. But looking forward to Q1 next year, I really would hope the council, the planning commission rather, we kind of focus our efforts on land use, street plans, and pushing the UDO over the line.
Well, I'll get with you, this week and make, a plan to probably sometime next week, whenever we mesh our schedule. I got several scans coming up, yay for that. But we'll get together and we can go through a book, cause yeah, that sucker's all marked up, there's notes written in it with questions and like, is this relevant to us or should this be that? So I've got a bunch of that stuff in there to discuss, and you may know you've probably already found it, so. So if it's duplicative, fine, cool, but at least that way we just, notice that eye or something, we can ask Metro Glenn about it. We'll do that, yeah, that's a great idea, thank you, and hopefully it'll move it forward, if we get an executive summary changes that the commission can review, move forward.
And I don't mean to be short about it, I just don't see the value in me sitting here reading a book to you guys.
No,
That's right.
We gotta change the process.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my official role in IT is process improvement director. So my whole job is looking at things in IT and saying, how can we change the process? I'm all about process, changes. That's cool. I'm good with change. So that's why I was saying, thank you for the idea, because hey, if there's a different way to do something better, let's get on it. I didn't think it'd be short. Just statements of facts. That's cool. So no, I mean, in what we see too is that's not going to be the final draft. It's literally a rough draft because we're going to have town halls about it. It's got to go to city council. Metro Plan's going to look at it. So this is going to be an iterative process. It's not just going to be Chris gives us a summary and we up it and we go home and that's the news of it.
I pray you don't even come close to doing it.
Oh,
Right.
I don't want this to be the Chris Matthews push this through on everything.
I'm not even gonna ask for a vote at that point. We have to review it, we have to adjust it, think about it. So yeah, I wouldn't even be like, oh, Chris gave us a summary, everyone vote. No, I wouldn't do it. But people do need to realize too that when we do this, this is the planning commission making the decision. It's then getting input. It's the city council then making the decision. This is not Chris Matthews coming in and taking over Mayflower. Because I want to hear people with their stuff, going on about that. Chris is our subject matter expert, our SME. He is advising us. He's not making these decisions, so nobody should be aiming anything at him. That's what our shoulders are.
I was gonna say, let's be fair, ultimately, with this being an appointed body, with city council being an elected body to represent the people, the ultimate action falls on city council.
Sure.
Everyone wants to be held accountable and.
Sure.
If they're reading the legwork on that, whatever is presented to us, that's on council.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a member of council, that's totally
All
agree.
you guys, that's on council.
Right.
So I just went on the record, nobody should be throwing any darts at, Mr. Matthews. He's not he
No.
doesn't deserve it. We're grateful for his input and his expertise. So.
Very grateful.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Because there's no doubt about it. You've led and pushed this process. So we're extremely grateful to you. I don't want anyone coming at you sideways. I'm the chair. If someone wants to get ugly about it, bring it to me. I don't care. That's what my job is.
I appreciate that, and like I said, the end game is just to have a consistent and updated process. More important, consistent and clear rules and procedures that everybody will follow consistently.
100%.
And that's where we need to be.
Yeah, 100% agree. Couldn't agree more. So, all right. So our next meetings. Let's see what we got here. Next regular planning commission, we've got Tuesday, October 14th, 2 weeks before Halloween. Look at that. That's the time of year we're at now. City council is next week, September 23rd. Both are at 6:30 right here. And we do have city council workshop next Tuesday, the 16th at, was it 5 or 5:30?
6:30, there's a water board meeting at 5:30.
Okay. So water board at 5:30, city council workshop at 6:30.
But the council meeting is week after next.
The workshop.
The workshop is next week.
Yes.
Workshop was 16.
Workshop was 16, council meeting's 23rd.
Yeah.
Right, that's what we have.
That's what he
Okay.
said.
You said, that's what got me confused.
You said the latter date first.
Council was next week, and anyway, we got straight out.
Yeah, we didn't have workshop on here, and it reminded me that it's not this week, it's gonna be next Tuesday. So yeah, I got one of my days of singing. So yeah, we'll have the workshop, so hopefully folks will come. For all y'all listening online, hopefully y'all come and give some input to the workshop. So it makes it go better when we get input.
Good.
Okay, any other questions or input for anything? Okay, motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned, thank you. That, he wanted to know who the water board director is. Oh, we're water board. Second answer was that.
Barbara, is Raymond on vacation this week?
Make an agenda for next week.